Hi guys, Random here, back with a bit more World of Warships for our newer captains. Yes, today we are going to be taking a quick look at the tech tree flavours. You can have vanilla, you can have mint chocolate. No. The different characteristics, I think is probably a good word, that each nation has. And I thought today we would start off looking at the little boats, the destroyers. Right, let's start at the beginning, shall we? Now, we all know that destroyers are little floaty boaties that go around with the pew-pew torpedoes. There they are. And they can chuck out smoke. They have speed boost and some other consumables as you get further up the tech tree, depending on which nation you are in. Now then, Japanese, the Imperial Japanese Navy. These are going to be general things. These are not going to be every single one, but the national flavour. So there may be exceptions, but as a general guide, the Japanese destroyer. Japanese destroyers tend to be on the lower end of the speed range. Some of them are quicker than others, but generally you will find that you will be outpaced by other destroyers. Now, there is a benefit to this. You do tend to have the best detection range in the game, so your detectability range tends to be quite low, and you can get that really low if you've got a detectability captain there, so concealment expert. For example, with camouflage on and the concealment expert, this is 5.4 kilometers, which is good because it makes you really quite sneaky. You do have your smoke screen, of course. If you fire your guns in the smoke screen, an astronomical 2.2 kilometer detectability. Sounds good, doesn't it? But Japanese guns. Let's talk about Japanese guns, shall we? They don't turn very fast, and their fire rate is pretty bad. This 10-second reload on a tier 5 Japanese, and this is a premium ship. So it gives you an idea. Do tend to get a reasonable fire chance, but the guns don't turn very quick. The ships are reasonably nimble, but they're not very fast. That's the Japanese destroyer. They're good if you like sneaking around. Okay, let's look at an American destroyer. Good old USS Mahan. This is the tier 7 American destroyer, the Mahan. Now again, there tends to be a flavour. We can have a look at a tier 2 if you like. They tend to be gunboats, these. They don't tend to be torpedo boats. The torpedo range, until you get up to, I think, the upgraded tier 7, is pretty poor. Okay, 6.4 kilometers there. If you have a look at the Smith, it's 4.5. Yes, it's very YOLO. You need to be up close and personal. Even the tier 6, 6.4, it doesn't get any better until you get to the upgraded torps on the tier 7, and even then they're not as good as the Japanese ones for range. But the American destroyers tend to be much better with the guns. You have much better trajectory on your bullets, whereas the Japanese tend to fly high and drop. The Americans tend to have a bit of a flatter arc. They're better guns. They're faster firing. They turn quicker. Boats tend to be quite quick. They tend to handle very well. You can throw them around quite a lot, and they're quite good fun. American smoke on a destroyer is the best in the game. So if something's got an American smoke on it, it's going to last a long time, and that's going to benefit you, because while you're sat in there, it's reloading. So the longer you can hide, the better it is. Now then, Russian destroyers. What shall we pick for the Russians? Let's go for the Podvoisky, shall we? this is the tier 5. Russian torpedoes. Yeah, they aren't, basically. You basically have to park next to the ship you want to sink and punch them. Because the range is so incredibly short. You would really struggle to get anything much further away than sort of here. Okay? That isn't entirely a bad thing. You can, same as with the American destroyers, hide behind islands and ambush people, hide in your smoke and, you know, hope they're not going to torp you before you torp them. But, yeah, the torpedoes, they're not fantastic. Damage-wise, they're pretty good. Distance-wise, not so much. Guns on the Russians, they tend to be pretty good. Reload time, it tends to be worse than the Americans. But you do tend to get a good firing range. The guns they're kind of a mingling meld between the Japanese and the Americans. They're not particularly quick turning, so they're like the Japanese in that respect. But they're quicker firing, so they're like the Americans in that respect. Basically, the secret with a Russian destroyer, or Soviet, or USSR, however you want to call them, is to stay at as far a distance as you can. Okay, your rudder shift isn't brilliant, your speed is generally very, very good, but you want to, you know, keep them at arm's length, really. We'll move on to the Germans. Yeah. Okay, so we'll look at the tier 5 German. This is the T-22. Now then, Germans. They're interesting. They are interesting. They don't tend to be particularly quick. The firing range tends to be okay. The rudder shift it's okay, actually. It's not bad. The smoke on them is terrible. The torpedoes are generally pretty good. And if you've got a concealment expert captain, which I haven't in this, you could probably get that down to 6 kilometres, maybe 6.1. Which would be really quite nice. You know, because you've got 7.5 kilometre torpedoes. So these are really torpedo boats that turn into gunboats when you come across another destroyer. Or light cruiser, maybe. They're quite an interesting. Think of them more like a small cruiser, and you probably be playing them right. You don't want to be too far forward. You do have pretty poor detectability compared to other destroyers in your tier. Think of them like a small cruiser, and you can't really go too far wrong. Right then, we now have the non-Tetri lines, which are destroyers, which is interesting. We do have British cruisers and battleships, but the only 2 destroyers in the game, the Gallant and the Campbelltown, are premiums at the moment. Now, the Gallant. This is a very good destroyer. Gives you a good taste of what the British destroyer line is going to be like. You get a reasonable gun range. It's not brilliant, but it's reasonable. Your torpedo range is pretty good at 8 kilometres. Your detectability is good. Not as good as the Japanese, but it's good. And your guns are not quite American good, but they're pretty good. The trajectory of the shell tends to hang in the air a little bit, but they're generally quite good. So these are a bit of an all-rounder. Okay, they're not brilliant at everything. 36 knots, so it's kind of middle of the road speed-wise. 3-second rudder shift. 3 seconds doesn't sound much, but in destroyer terms, that's not all that quick. So it's middle of the road there. The range is middle of the road. The torpedoes are middle of the road. They've got decent damage, but they're not that far-reaching. 61 knots is pretty good, but it's not brilliant. So these are a real jack-of-all-trades type of boat. And if the main line comes out and it's anything like these, then we should all be very, very happy people. Indeed. Okay. these are coming. Pan-Asian. The Pan-Asian destroyers. I have two. I have Loyang and I have Anshan. Now then, Anshan is basically a Kiev. Okay, for want of a better description, this is a Kiev. Whereas the Loyang, I believe, is a Benson with a C hole, I believe. So, interesting thing here. Okay, and Shan, People's Republic of China, I believe, isn't it? Let me not get this the wrong way round. Yep, People's Republic of China. So this is the communist supported Red China, if you like. Of course, they gave them like a Russian boat because the Russians gave them a boat. So if you played the Kiev, which is the tier 6, I believe. No. What am I talking about? This is the Nevny, not the Kiev. Oh, random. You derp. Right, yeah, the Nevny. Going back to what I was saying, this is the Nevny, and it is pretty much exactly the same. The only difference is the torpedoes. Instead of 4 kilometres, you get 8 kilometres. That's pretty much it. Okay. I think there might be a slight difference in fire chance, but yeah, 1% one way or the other. Yeah, you're talking nothing really. So really, this is a better Nevny. Okay, so if you like the Nevny and you had fun in that, then yeah, why not think about the Anshan next time it comes up on sale? Might be worth it. I think it's actually permanently in the premium shop now, so have a look if you enjoyed that boat. The Loyang, on the other hand, is, I'd say, a Seahole Benson, I believe. Let's have a look. Doesn't say. Anyway, this is the Republic of China, aka the T word that China doesn't like anyone saying. So, yeah, this is an American ship, non-communist. You see the difference? Now this is an interesting indicator of what the actual ship line is going to be like, because if you look at the tech tree, we have the Longyang, okay, which is, or Longyang maybe, ordered from Germany, okay. We have the Hwarang, which was a British ship. We have the Shenyang, a former IJN Minakaze class. The Yonwei, which is, was this developed in Britain? There we go. The Fushan, a Nevny class again, so pretty much the same as the Anshan. The Gajamada, which was a N-class British boat transferred to the Netherlands Navy, and then moved over to Indonesia. The Xianyang, which is a Glebe, so an American boat. The Chengmu, which is a Fletcher, an American boat, and the Yuyang, which was a Alan M. Sumner class apparently, so another American boat. So this kind of gives you an idea of what this line is going to be like. It's going to be a real bag of all sorts. You're going to get used to one ship, then you're going to upgrade to the next one, and you're going to go, hang on a minute, this is an entirely different thing altogether. So you might all of a sudden get really good guns, or really fast, or really good handling. So this, I think, is going to be quite a exciting line to unlock, and I'm looking forward to that. Of course, we do have the Bliskovica, the good old Bliss. This is a Polish destroyer. Now, the Bliskovica is a very interesting boat to play, and not just because it's quite a good handling ship. I don't know if it tell you on here what the damage is. Yeah, 14,400, 8 kilometre torps. Not particularly quick. They're not particularly quick. However, if you have a look at the manoeuvrability, it's 39 knots. By the time you put a speed flag on and speed boost, this thing is blisteringly quick. and it handles well. It does handle well. You know, 4.6 rudder shift, yeah, it doesn't sound all that great, does it? And that is with the steering mod on. But when you're doing 43 knots-ish, you know, is it really a problem? You're so out of the way before the shells land that it's almost comical. So yeah, the Błyskawica, great boat. Again with the tech tree, if we look at here, we look at the Polish tech tree, there she is, all on her own, look, oh bless. I can see the Polish tech tree being populated sooner or later, but yeah, not entirely sure how quick that's going to happen. France, of course, we did have the Cyclone, which was in the Dunkirk missions. I would say the Cyclone handled a little bit like the British ships, but not quite as agile. So maybe, oh, I don't know, maybe like a Russian ship, but fast. Yeah, the French boats were generally quite fast. The Russian ships are generally quite fast, but I don't know. It kind of gave me that vibe. Anyway, it's been a little while, so there is a Dunkirk video, Operation Dunkirk video on my channel if you want to see the Cyclone in action there. So that basically is the flavour of the different destroyers. So hopefully that gives you some idea of which tech tree you want to work down. I will be doing videos on low tier stuff again for new captains, because the game has changed considerably since I last did the low tier stuff. So if you are interested in that, or you've got a particular ship that you would really like to see, let me know, because the low tier stuff can be hilarious and really good fun. Also, if you're interested in getting together this weekend, which will be the weekend of the 25th and 26th, leave me a message on this video, preferably, you know, before sort of Sunday, because then that will be the end of the 26th. But you can leave me a message on any video anyway, and we'll set up a time to jump on. Now, I am on the EU server, okay, and if you are interested in joining, we do have a clan, the -RNG-. It's the short version, or Random's Naval Group. Yes, RNG, because it is World of Warships, and that made sense to me. So yeah, by all means, ping yourself an invite on there. I'll log on and accept it, and yeah, we can get together, jump in some voice chat, and go sink the bad guys, eh? Sounds good fun. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed, but that is quite enough from me for now. So yeah, thank you ever so much for watching, but for now, it's Captain Random, signing off. Take care, and I'll see you again in the next one.